Today I am reviewing Loch Ness Monster, the aerodynamics custom looper at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Loch Ness Monster is a really underrated and fun coaster in my opinion, so let's jump right into this review. So when you walk up to Loch Ness Monster, you'll notice there are 40th anniversary signs and posters everywhere, and this train this year got the logo of the 40th anniversary on it because Loch Ness Monster this year is actually now 40 years old. That is crazy. This is one really old roller coaster, and it is an Aero coaster, so of course it's going to be old. But besides that, this coaster is really cool. So when you're in this little mini plaza and you're in the queue line, there is some really neat theming. You know, you got scuba diving theming, facts about the Loch Ness Monster all over the place, and it is really cool. I like the theming with this ride, and they did a really good job with it. And as you'll see when we get to it later, there's actually some theming here in the ride. You get into the station, and the station is actually supposed to be like a Scotland castle, so they really did do some really good theming with this coaster. It is a really nice job, actually. But anyways, you get onto your train, and these are, of course, the old Aero trains. They're all the same for the custom loopers, and you have the same restraints. However, these trains are actually not as bad as Anaconda. I don't know why, but they're pretty much the same, but they just don't feel as bad. Maybe it's because it's not Anaconda. I don't know. Coincidence? Maybe. Anyways, you're going to start going out the station, and you kind of take this little mini turn section. It's really, really cool. It gets you a nice view of the forest, which made no sense, but anyway, you're going to go up your chain lift, and this lift is long and loud. I mean, it's an old Aero coaster, so it is going to be loud, but you're going to be about 130 feet up, and you're going to take a slow, and I mean really slow turn to the right, and then you go straight down that drop, and you're reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. This coaster has a really fun drop, actually. In the back row, you're going to actually feel very, very, very positive G's. Like, it is crazy. The airtime is actually strong with this coaster in the back row. You do fly out of your seat a little bit, and you're going to feel tingling in your stomach. It's really cool. Then you're going to turn up and go into your second drop, which this drop leads you into the first out of two inversions, and this is the interlocking loop. And these interlocking loops are awesome. I mean, if you're in the back row in one of these things, it is crazy how intense it is. It's an aggressive inversion, and it is by far a lot of fun. After this, you're going to take a turn straight up into this little brake run, but it doesn't stop you there because this is where, earlier, I told you there's some theming during the ride. You go into this triple helix section, or it's a quadruple helix section. I don't remember how many it was, but there's a lot of helixes in this cave, and it is an awesome portion. It is loud in there. It is fun. It's intense. It is completely dark. It's really cool. And at the very end, when you're about to exit, you hear one last final huge roar that was added this year from the Loch Ness Monster. So that was really cool. I like this new effect, and it's a lot of fun. So then you're going to hit your second lift hill. There are two lift hills on this coaster. That's how you know this bad boy is old. So you go up this really slow lift hill, and it doesn't take you long to get to the top because before you know it, you're picking up speed again, and you take another drop. But this one is really small, so I don't know how it makes it through this next inversion. But anyway, you go into your next inversion, and after this, you're going to slide up into the brakes. So when you slide up into the brakes, you're going to go back into the station, you're going to exit to the left, and you're just going to go out of that queue line, and you're going to wonder, wow, that was actually surprisingly awesome for an Aero coaster because this coaster is really fun. Loch Ness Monster is a great Aero looper. It is one of the best in the world, if not the best Aero looper. I'm sure Tennessee Tornado is probably better, but it's still a great ride. I mean, it's really, really smooth, very aggressive, actually, if you're in the back. The front row is a great experience, too. I mean, it's such a long ride. It's so fun. It's legendary. It's enjoyable. And who can forget that awesome cave section? I mean, it's great. This coaster is a classic. My parents have been riding it since they were little, and I've been riding it since I was little, too. I mean, I ride this thing every time I go because it's so much fun. I have so many memories with this ride. And fun fact, this was one of the first coasters I ever rode, at least one of the first steel coasters I ever rode. I was pretty young when I rode it, actually. But overall, I love this coaster. It has such a great layout. I mean, it's old, and it has a great layout. And surprisingly, for 40 years old, this thing is still running really smooth. Overall, this coaster is great. The inversions are fun. The overall experience is phenomenal. So for Loch Ness Monster's final score, I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10. For an Aero looper, this coaster is really good, and I just really liked it. I love Loch Ness Monster. It's a classic. I go there every time. It's very picturesque, and overall, it's a great coaster. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Post your comments down in the section below. What do you think of Loch Ness Monster? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, coaster fans, I will see you later.